What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, people. After a couple of days off, international break, you know, sometimes you have to take a little break from Arsenal and that. But we're back, people, we're back. And lots of news to talk about today as we, well, I was going to say as we get ready for the Arsenal game, but it's international break, so whether you're watching England or Jamaica or America or whoever you're watching, you can maybe chill out a little bit without the stress of Arsenal. Big up to everyone in the chat. And you're right, yeah, I've been watching a lot of NBA the last few days, man. The amount of points that got scored last night, people. I mean, triple-double for LeBron, I think. Wemby got 50. Giannis got 50. It was wild. Steph Curry the night before going crazy. It's been mad, people, if you're an NBA fan, you know, on them late nights in England. Keeping up with that. But big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. Ash says big up Big C. Jonathan, Kane's crying about dropouts. He's not used to winning trophies at club level, so he wouldn't understand, would he? Big up Views from the Bit said Big C, salute, bro. Big up your damn self. Welcome to the circus with Kurt, bro. Arsenal circus, man, for real. Rastaman says Dallas v Warriors was the game of the season. Yeah. Clay against Steph. Crazy. Steph Curry hitting the night-night. Crazy. Absolutely mad. Big up everyone in the community, man. Hope you're all well. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get into Arsenal conversation, people. There's a lot to talk about. You know what? Sometimes when it's the international break, more things actually come out for us to discuss because everything goes quiet. And then they start feeding out info. Big up David, who said hit the like button. And big up Gunner Down Under, who said big up Big C. And the people them. And Salma said, leave Isak alone. I hope we never get a striker. I don't want to watch Arteta ruin their career. Oh, man. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. I can't ignore it. I always say if I see it, I have no choice but to acknowledge it, you know. Anyway, let's get into the show, people, and we got a lot to talk about. Some, well, I say good, yeah, some good news, some not so good news, but it's Arsenal, so what do you expect? Thoughts on Coots? Coots, I mean, what do I say? Number one, when you're talking like that, don't let your friend get a phone out and record it, because if that ever gets leaked, you're in a lot of big trouble. And boy, man, he was moving like Scarface in certain scenes, you know, in that movie, but we won't speak about it. But yeah, I'd say he's in big trouble. Let's put it that way. I'd say he's in big trouble. Let's just say if I was him, I wouldn't be shopping in Liverpool anytime soon. Yeah. Moving mad. Moving absolutely mad. No wonder these referees get decisions wrong. They're in a different world, man. Jeez. Crazy. But anyway, let's move on from Coots. Let's talk Arsenal. Let's talk Ben White, a.k.a. Benny Blanco, a.k.a. Benjamin Tan, Joey Essex, whatever you call him. Came out yesterday. Ben White has had an operation during this international break. Expected to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. He's been carrying this knee injury for a few weeks. That obviously we've seen him miss certain games, come on, come off, number of different things. He's been shaking it. They've put him in for the operation. Initial reports were Ben White will be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which would have got him around Christmas to the start of January. However, Team News and Tickets, how gospel that this is, I don't know. But Team News and Tickets has come out today saying Ben White is more likely to be out for 10 to 12 weeks. Wow. Rather than 6 to 8. So just to put that into context, I mean, if you're looking at 10 weeks, you're looking at the end of January for Ben White to come back. 12 weeks would be mid-February. So we were thinking Christmas, start of January. You're looking at the end of January, the start to middle of February. I mean, yeah, not a white Christmas, although it might be for David Coote if you watch the videos, but let's not speak about that. Yeah, Ben White could be out for some time, people. He's been nursing this knee injury. The reports were saying that basically the longer he played with this injury, the worse the injury could have got. So the club felt it important to get him in, get him operated on, and hopefully get him back now for some time in January. We're hoping for early January. It sounds like it could be late January. And IQ said, I heard he hates football. Well, he don't watch it anyway, so he may be he may not be watching too much football over the next few weeks. That is for sure. I mean, the disappointing thing is, I was just quickly looking at it then in terms of fixtures. I mean, he's going to miss a hell of a lot of football for Arsenal. That is for sure. I mean, if we were to go even start of January, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're looking at 11 games. If you were to go to the end of January, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, 17 games if he was to be out until the end of January. You're looking at potentially half a season, people, of games for Ben White being out, which is a massive, massive loss for Arsenal. Another injury, another operation. This is a guy that doesn't even at the moment play for his country. So what is the reason for Ben White? I know these injuries can happen at any time. I understand it. But again, it's frustrating. It seems to always be Arsenal, people. Timber, never really injured, comes to Arsenal, ACL injury. Ben White, now he's having an operation on the knee. Jesus, knee injury. Zinchenko's consistently injured. Tomiyasu's never fit. You know, now Odegaard gets injured. I know that was just pure contact. Calafiori injured. Martinelli was injured 2 or 3 times last season. It's crazy. He just said to Ben Foster he doesn't get injured. It's absolutely mad. Thomas Partey missed 3 games in 3 years at Atletico. He comes to Arsenal. He can't stay fit for a second. Declan Rice now with a broken toe. Saka constantly limping. Is this a coincidence? Like, genuinely. I like to have these discussions, people. I like to look at the bigger picture, which people don't like all the time. As I said, I started a debate the other day. Why is Saka limping so much at the end of games? Why do Arsenal have so many injuries? This isn't a new thing. This has been happening since Arsene Wenger. Diaby, Rosicky, Cazorla, Jack Wilshere and beyond. Arsenal injury-prone problems. I've heard 2 stories regarding Arsenal over the years. I don't know how true this is. And we've spoken about at least one of these stories before. I heard a story a number of years ago that the Arsenal training ground is rock solid. You lot have heard it before. We've spoken about it. Rio Ferdinand's spoken about it. Apparently the ground was built on top of a car park. So even though you put whatever on top of it and the pitch and all the mud and whatever, there's a car park underneath it. The pitch apparently is rock hard, even to the point that when England needed to use a training ground in London, they refused to use the Arsenal training ground. So that can't be coincidental. It could be a conspiracy, but I'm saying I've heard this on a number of occasions. The second thing that I've heard about Arsenal is that apparently Arsenal training sessions are almost non-contact. Like, they don't... And listen, this may have changed now under this manager. But apparently what I used to hear was that Arsenal training sessions were very light in terms of you couldn't make much physical contact with each player. So then what they said was happening was because the players weren't taking contact and big challenges, when they got into a game on the weekend, their body sort of was shocked by those challenges. Not that you want to be kicking players all over the place in training, but your body does get used to a certain type of, physical load. You go to the gym, you push certain weights, your body gets used to it, you get stronger, then maybe you go up in weight. I heard a few years ago, Arsenal pretty much non-contact in training. Now again, I don't know how true that is. It might have changed under this manager. We've changed coaches a number of times. Like Keir says, Gabriel landed on Marino's shoulder, so there obviously is some contact. And you're right, when you think about it, TV1, back in the day, Steve Bold, Keown, Adams, Lee Dixon, Vieira, all these guys, they were absolutely smashing each other all over the training ground. And I feel like we weren't getting the injuries back then that we get now. We're constantly getting injuries. What do you guys think it's down to? I don't know. Obviously, the back of the ground, there's a pitch you can play on. It's fine, says David. JR said, makes sense. Whack training sessions. They all look nice. Bro, have you noticed last season, what did they do every Friday? Put out a training video. Eddie and Nketiah look like a world beater. Look at this season. Every training video, I'm like, oh my God, Raheem Sterling looks incredible. He's taking people on, whipping it in the top corner. Then a story came out the other day, Sterling's not impressing in training. Oh, your editor's doing a good job then, right? Do you know what I mean? And look at those training sessions. You don't see many challengers. Sterling looking like a world beater, just whipping it in the top corner. But they don't show you the whole session, of course. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is, but it seems to have been an Arsenal issue for a long, long time. So Ben White expected to be out until January. I did list it as Christmas. Then this story has come out saying he could be out till the end of January, mid-February. Massive, massive loss for Arsenal. Ben White actually think as what should I say? I think Ben White's become a very good right back at Arsenal, but yeah, I think you've seen there's been problems with him this season, carrying injuries. So we'll see. Yeah, I know Gabriel, but he fell on Marino. That's different. I'm talking actual. Are they putting in big challenges on each other in training? I don't know. But Ben White out for 10 to 12 weeks, people. Big loss for the Gunners. Now, a little bit of good news. And part of the reason why Arsenal decided to put Ben White in for the operation now is because there is a return to Arsenal for two players, Ricardo Calafiori and Takehiro Tomiyasu. Remember him? I've forgotten who he is. I didn't even know what he looked like. I said, who? Tomiyasu, who's that? Tommy Cafu. Remember, that's how good he was. Arsenal fans were calling him Tommy Cafu. I can't even remember. Remember he came with a blonde ear? We said Tommy Beckham, you know, with the highlights. Guy's been missing in action for how long? I don't understand why this guy, another guy, gets injured so much. It's crazy. But Calafiori and Tomiyasu are both expected to return for Arsenal after the international break. And even stranger, a name that I didn't recognise, some Scottish guy called Kieran Tierney or something like that. Tierney, I believe. His nickname is Stronger Than a Tesco Bag. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Scottish player. Used to play for Celtic. I don't know who he is. Must have come through the youth team. Apparently he's coming back soon as well. I don't know what his job's going to be. Is he going to be Gunnosaurus? Is he going to sell programs on a match day? Apparently, nah. All jokes aside, because there'll be people online going, he don't even know who Tierney is. You know what Twitter's like, people. The rumour is that Kieran Tierney's going to go in January, probably on loan with a view to selling him in the summer. Do you know the crazy thing? When I was thinking about it, and we joke about this, by the way, as well, is in reality, have we actually found a better left-back than Kieran Tierney? And we've signed about 55,000 left-backs in the last 3 or 4 years. Now, Timber, I think, is fantastic at left-back. But I think what's going to happen over the next 2 months is that Tomiyasu will probably be on the bench. Calafiori, I would imagine, will go to left-back. And Jurriën Timber will go to right-back. So when you look at it, you think, after buying Tierney at 25 million, we've bought Zinchenko for 35 million. Can't defend. We're probably going to try and get rid of him in the summer. We've bought Calafiori for nearly 40 million. Probably better at centre-back than he is at left-back. We bought Kivior for 27 million. Better at centre-back than left-back. That Kiwi ain't ripe. We're going to try and get rid of him. Tomiyasu can play there. Timber can play there. But naturally, you'd say both are right-backs. We could actually get into a situation this summer where we need another left-back, which is absolutely crazy. It's wild. It is so crazy the amount of, Tierney, we're going to have to get rid of Tierney. We're going to have to get rid of Zinchenko. We're going to have to get rid of Kivior. So it's wild. It is absolutely wild. I actually think Calafiori's a decent player, but I don't think he's a left-back. I think he's probably a better centre-back. So, again, quantity over quality, people. Sometimes you just got to go out there, go and buy a top quality left back who might cost you a lot of money, because in reality, Zinchenko's cost you 35, Kivior 27. That's 62 million pounds already. Calafiori at about 38 million. That's 100 million pounds. You could have bought Theo Hernandez. You could have probably bought Nuno Mendes. You know, these left-backs out there, I'm sure you would name that would have done a better job. So this, I've said it before, buy cheap, buy twice, does not always work. Does not always work. Arsenal found that out years ago when they bought Podolski, Lucas Perez, Giroud, Danny Welbeck, when they should have just gone and bought Luis Suarez. If we'd have paid 50 million back then for Luis Suarez, we would have got him from Liverpool. Instead, we offered 40 million and £1 and embarrassed ourselves. So it's an interest. Yeah, Robinson at Fulham's good, you know. He is good. I'm surprised he hasn't been signed. I think when you look at like Man United, Luke Shaw for years, injury prone. Malassi has been out for ages. Yeah, he's a good left back. Mitchell at Palace I've always thought was good as well, but never really gets a move. Mendy seems to be back in favour. The rumour was that Alphonso Davies was going to go there and replace him, but Mendy seems to be in favour now. So there's rumours that Alphonso might end up at Barcelona. Gyokeres from Bournemouth. We have been linked with him before as well. I actually like Kieran Tierney. I felt a long time ago Arsenal made a massive mistake because what they did, they tried to get Tierney to invert. When I thought you could have got Ben White to invert on the right because he's actually played defensive midfield. You could have allowed Tierney to play as a natural left back and link up with Martinelli, but I suppose that's too simplistic. Calafiori, Tomiyasu are back. That, of course, enables us to allow Ben White to go for the operation. We will then have Calafiori probably at left back. Timber will probably move to right back. And then obviously Gabriel and Saliba. But we're going to need the likes of Tomiyasu. We might even need Zinchenko to play. Obviously we got the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup starts around Christmas. You are going to need rotation. So I think Arsenal are going to have a lot of work to do in the summer. In terms of players going. Somebody said there Mitchell's out of contract in the summer. That would be an interest. I rate him. I think he's a good player. Let's have a look. Tyreek Mitchell's contract. I'm sure Palace will be trying to keep him. Tyreek Mitchell, yeah. Does say that. Contract ran out in 2024. Triggered a 1-year contract extension till 2025. Hasn't yet signed a new deal. Very interesting that. I'm sure he'll get a new deal. But yeah. Big up Law Boss who said big up Curtis from Kingston, Jamaica and the C Unit crew. C Unit. Big up your damn self. Jamaica against America coming up shortly as well. Seal it up. Leon Bailey's back and Mason Holgate. I said it, people. Jamaica going to make the next World Cup. People don't believe me. I'll go over there. I'll be there, people. 2026 World Cup, I'll be over there, man. Jamaica going to qualify. First time since 98. Mitchell could unlock Martinelli. Bro, I'm not sure the janitor with all the keys that can open every door can unlock Martinelli, bro. You know, that's wild, you know. I know he scored, but I still don't think he played well. Let's be real. Sometimes you can score... doesn't mean you actually played well. Ricardinho, was Martinelli firing when Tierney was playing? I think that season he got 15 goals. To be honest, it was Zinchenko and Xhaka. Zinni was inverting, but Xhaka linked up very good with him. Rabiel, settings man. Rabiel! The back post header. World Cup 98. We will be there, people. We will be there. Right, Calafiori and Tomiyasu on their way back, people. But for how long? For how long? Stevie said, manager ruining centre-backs. Kivior, Calafiori, Ben White and Tomiyasu. The only thing I would defend him a little bit, I think Ben White was better at right-back than he was at centre-back for Arsenal. I think there were genuine question marks about Ben White as a centre-back when he played for Arsenal. Tomiyasu actually got off to a flyer the first year at right-back. Calafiori and Kivior, I agree. I think there's no doubt they are centre-backs who are just being put at left-back. Mo2K need to be proposed as a member. Yeah, man, make sure you've got your settings on. A lot of people can't join as a member. As I say, if you're on iPhone, you need to go on the desktop version. So go in your settings, go desktop. You should be able to join. For some reason, iPhone doesn't give you the join button next to subscribe button. And Mo again, big up, bro. Off topic real quick. Is it crazy to say Prime Thierry, oh, this is interesting, was a better player than Dino in the early to mid-thousands? He was surely more effective, even though Ronaldinho was more entertaining. Who you think was better? No cap. See, do you know, these are I hate any question where you compare somebody to Thierry Henry, who I think is close, and then I have to debate whether he's better or not. See, the problem you've got, Ronaldinho won the Ballon d'Or. Henry was robbed of it. He should have won it. Ronaldinho won the World Cup. So did Thierry. I always say, right, that Ronaldinho is the most entertaining footballer we've ever seen. And I actually don't think you will ever see a better player than him to watch. If you said to me, name me 3 favourite footballers of all time, it would be Thierry Henry, the best player I've ever seen play for Arsenal. It would be Ronaldinho, the most entertaining footballer we have ever seen. I almost feel like he is the pinnacle of what football is about. And number 3 would be R9, the real Ronaldo, in my opinion. So Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo would not actually be in my top 3. Not in terms of ability, in terms of just pure enjoyment and entertainment. I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm a disgrace and a cheat. I don't even want to answer it. The Arsenal bias. Ronaldinho is the best footballer I've ever watched in terms of entertainment. I used to run home to watch that guy play. I don't even want to answer it. Thierry's on the background. I feel like I'm doing him dirty. You're putting me under all sorts of pressure. You actually said who was the better player. I mean, that makes it even more difficult because I think Ronaldinho, sometimes we think of him as some sort of skill merchant. His passing is unbelievable. His first touch is incredible. Inside, outside of the foot. I don't even want to answer it. Mo, it's a horrible question. I feel like ending the stream. I don't even want to answer it. I don't want to answer it. Big up, though. Great question. Brian said Arteta is safe. The Kroenkes love him. Arsenal back to top 4. Wage bill is the lowest in the top 6. Market value is up since he arrived. Only pressure from the fan base will get him out. I've always said this, bro. The pressure that, say, I put on him and maybe some other content creators and some of the fan base. Yeah, Mo broke the stream. We're still in the minority. I know that. I'm fully aware of that. The fans that are questioning Arteta and the fans that feel he should go are still in the minority. I've been to games. There's still more fans questioning why I think he should go than why he should be here. That's where we're at, and I'm aware of that. And I'm always open about speaking about my opinion of Arteta and the reason that I feel his job should be under severe pressure. It's not reactionary. It's not, as people, you're doing it for views. No, I'm not. I'd probably get more views if I capped for the manager than actually called him out because I'm in the minority. That creates uproar online when you say things like that. I think Arteta, I think the club let him down in the summer. I'm going to be totally honest. I think the club let him down. I doubt very much Arteta sat there in the summer and said, Calafiori, Marino, Raheem Sterling on loan. I don't think he would have said that window. But I do think, I think Sterling was a reaction, a panic buy. I think Calafiori and Marino would have been on his list, but I think he would have wanted more than that. So I do think the club probably let him down. He spent 200 million the year before. I doubt he would have spent 100 million in an ideal world. However, I just don't think he's as good a manager as the majority think he is. And that's my opinion. And my reason for that mainly is because in the cup competitions, he continues to fail to get over the finish line. And in the league, I just don't think he can figure out the formula to get past Pep. And I have to question why Havertz is your striker. Because I feel that transfer genuinely was a huge mistake. I think he's made big mistakes in the window. I think his inability to sign maverick individuals. I get that he wants the collective of the group to be together, but I think we need one or two with that ego that I want to be the best. I think he does want Kai Havertz up front. I don't think he was really, really pushing to get a striker in the summer. I think he wanted Sesko as a backup to Havertz. Sesko didn't want to be number 2. And I think he refused to go and get an Osimhen or go and get an Ivan Toney. And I think that's cost him. And I think after 5 years, that much money, that much patience, 1 FA Cup, it's not enough. It's not enough. We are not Tottenham. We're not Brighton. I find it very difficult to sit here after 5 years and say that that's an acceptable half a decade of management. I do. You know, Wenger in his last 5 years won more trophies than that. And people were protesting to get him out of the football club. So why should I then accept these 5 years from a manager that some people say is one of the best young managers in the world? Not for me. Not for me. If he doesn't win a major trophy this season, or if he doesn't win a trophy full stop and get top 4, I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go in the summer. I think that's how a big club should be moving. It's not like he's been here for a year and we haven't given him an opportunity. He's had half a decade at the football club. Let's get some of your opinions. I can see other opinions. Some agree. I mean, David said 1 FA Cup with Aubameyang and not the players he brought in. Facts. TV1 said no trophy this season, then he should be sacked. Not even a debate. Big clubs do not tolerate this yet. Pack said it's still his first job, still working out, being better. Arsenal fans are fickle. We weren't even in the Champions League, and he's brought us back. Very ungrateful fans. I find that. Listen, let me take a sip. I need to calm down. I told you, we're not a dictatorship. I'm open to different opinions. Let me just take a sip. You've even put very ungrateful fans in capital letters. You're shouting it at me. Let's break it down. It's still his first job. Has got nothing to do with the Arsenal fan base. That's not our fault. That doesn't mean we got to sit here for years and years till he gets it right, bro. I don't care if it's his first job or his 10th job. Are you good enough to be the Arsenal manager? That's first of all. Still working out being better. As I said, first job. This ain't an apprenticeship. We need success. Arsenal fans are fickle. We haven't won a title for 20 years. By the time this season finishes, 21 years, we don't look like winning the title. 21 years, no title. 31 years, no League Cup for 31 years. 5 years, no FA Cup, and never won a Champions League. Fickle? I'm not so sure about that. We weren't even in the Champions League and he's brought us back. Don't forget, Emery finished 5th, got to a Europa League final. He was only a couple points off the Champions League. This manager finished 8th and 5th before getting to the Champions League in his 4th season. So it took him 4 seasons to get in the Champions League. So listen, respect for, and then very ungrateful fans. Highest season ticket prices, or second highest now, in the Premier League. Merch every other week. Constant PR. I'm sorry, not for me, Pat. And I think I've been respectful to you there. I think I've been respectful, but I have to question that. I think your explanation has to go. And he's come back. Let me hear it. He said, honestly speaking, Curtis, last season, the refs cheated us out of 9 points and apologised. Lost the league by 5. I mean, again, for me, I think you have to take responsibility before looking at referees. Look what that referee's just done and said about Liverpool. Then go and look at the things he's done in Liverpool games. Are we really public enemy number 1 of the referees? Look what David Coote's done in Liverpool games. Let's talk about not buying a striker. And Havertz couldn't hit a barn door until after Christmas. Let's talk about 65 million on that deal. Let's talk about 4 or 5 left backs. You know, so listen, I've listened to you. I don't agree, but you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not blaming refs. Blaming the refs, yeah, I don't like doing that. You know, Visionary said, not gonna lie, I think Arsenal fans are too lenient with Arteta. You said they let him down in the window, but at what point does this? 100%, bro. Said it many times. Why is Martinelli not improving? Why is Trossard not improving? You know, some of them have improved, of course. Gabriel, Odegaard, we've got to give him credit, Saka. But coaching, man management, transfers. Well said now, time him out, says my pack. They're calling for 3 minutes. BX said, people still trying to view Arsenal as a top elite club, but if you're aspiring to be there, You can't want to live like a top 4 club. The reality is, BX, even though I respect it, we haven't won those trophies, so you could say that. But we've been the title challenging team for the last 2 seasons, so the mindset should be that we're an elite club. We can't act like small fries and expect to be top dogs. You know what I mean? I think the mindset of the fan base has to change. I think we have to look at it and say, listen, trophy-wise, we haven't been what we should be for 20 years. But it's not going to change the fact what we believe this club should be with the stadium, with the training ground, with the fan base, with the history, with the finances, with how rich the owners are. This football club should not be lurking how we have been for a number of years, just happy to win a bronze medal in a 100-metre race. Oh, I didn't win the gold, but I got a personal best. Who cares, mate? Usain Bolt's doing lightning bolts and getting the gold medal. That's all I'm interested in. We're happy losing at Arsenal, as long as we're the best loser. That seems to be the mentality of a lot of the fan base. We're happy being the best loser. How'd you get on today? Yeah, I didn't win, but, you know, I did well. Came second, I was only 2 points behind Man City. Who cares, mate? They're lifting the title, you're not. Try harder. Do better. That's all I'm interested in, people. I understand nobody has got a divine right to win the league every year and win trophies every year. Man City are here. But year after year, empty-handed, come on. When people constantly telling us how good our team is. If you speak to people online, Gabriel and Saliba, they say, are amazing together. Timber's amazing. Ben White, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Havertz, Saka. They'll tell you all these guys are amazing. They'll tell you the manager's amazing. So where's the silverware? That's always my question. But yeah, that was a great super chat, Brian. You set me off for about 20 minutes there. Pac, please stop. You need 2 or 3 minute timeout. And the fact you called Pac, Tupac's one of my favourite rappers. I'm disappointed. I feel like you should be called, I don't know, Will Smith or Vanilla Ice, one of them rappers. I feel a bit disrespectful saying Will Smith. You know, Miami was a good song back in the day, but you know what I mean? Not top dog rappers, if we're sure. And Mo said, here's another one to take away the accolades and achievements. Was Bergkamp as good of a footballer, technically, as Zinedine Zidane? Bro, you're going to get my channel deleted. I can't entertain questions like that. I would say Zidane was better than Bergkamp. Zidane's one of my favourite players ever. Bergkamp's one of my favourite Arsenal players. Zidane, left foot, right foot. Zidane scored a volley in the Champions League final from high in the air with his left foot. Bergkamp was more like inside and outside of the foot. Zidane, for me, Zidane's one of the greatest footballers to ever play the game. I actually think there's an argument. He's up there as the greatest footballer of all time. He's in the debate, no doubt about it. So, I love Dennis Bergkamp. Touch like magic. I would have to put Zizou above him, and that's painful as well because, again, Arsenal. But Zinedine Zidane with the bold patch, the magic bold patch, and headbutting Materazzi. He chipped Buffon in a World Cup final, crossbar and in. Zidane is up there as the greatest footballer we have ever seen. Certainly the greatest midfielder. He's absolutely outrageously good. Zinedine Zidane, genuinely. I think he's one of the best we've ever seen. Doesn't get spoken about enough, actually. David said, you are either first or last. Ricky Bobby settings, get me that strike. That's what I'm on, bro. Come on, let's sort this out. I'm telling you. We need to win. HICM Zidane, the greatest French player ever without question. Zidane for UFC champ. Headbutt alone makes him top 3. Bro, the man headbutted Materazzi, basically lost them the World Cup final. Went back to France, came off the plane and got a hero's welcome. I'm sorry. You're one of the GOATs. It's as simple as that. You would have expected him to go back to France and they booed him. They applauded him. Because his mum was ill. Materazzi was cussing his mum. Headbutt in the chest. That's what I'm saying. People think I'm crazy. And listen, I know what I'm about to say is wild because you couldn't get away with that nowadays. You know, getting a red card for tapping the ball away like Declan Rice or kicking it away like Trossard. In my head, I'm like, bro, if you're going to get sent off, do you know what I mean? Do what Zidane did. I'd rather headbutt someone and say, oh, there we go, I've been sent off. But I know that doesn't, you'd probably get a 5-10 game ban for that nowadays. But Zidane was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Isak over Gyokeres equals excuse not to do business in January. Hold your thought. I'm coming back to that. Yeah, Mo's giving me some good questions today. Alex, I'm open to debate with you and anyone. If you can tell me any manager who have got a team in the same position as Mikel Arteta got Arsenal, with the type of players and won anything in 5 years, Pep, I think you meant to put Pep include. If you can tell me any manager who has got a team in the same position and won anything in 5 years. I mean, I hate to do this to you, Alex. Should we start with Jurgen Klopp? Let's start with Jurgen Klopp. Took over a Liverpool team that was 8th. And within 4 seasons, they won the Champions League. So, Alex, thank you for the super chat. Even though you were very respectful with your comment, I'm going to give you a 3-minute timeout. Not as a disrespect, just to allow you to go on Google and do some research. And that's without me even thinking. That's just me freestyle. You said, please tell me another manager that's done what Arteta's done in 5 years in charge. Jurgen Klopp was a Champions League winner inside 4 seasons. He made a Champions League final in 3 seasons, lost to Real Madrid, and he won it in season 4. I mean, without even thinking, I think I've wiped out that super chat. I'll give you 3 minutes. Get yourself on Google. Thank you for the super chat. But if you're gonna come at me like that, I need hardcore facts, people. If we want to start, if I have to start thinking about Simone Inzaghi getting to a Champions League final, winning Serie A, if you want me to talk about Xabi Alonso going invincible in a league where, apart from Bayern Munich or Dortmund, nobody else really wins that title, I could probably name 10 managers. Don't even get me started on what Slot's doing at Liverpool in his first season. I mean, take your 3 minutes. Take your time. Take your time. As Troop said, take your time. Yo, I'm telling you, the cult is strong, people. The cult is not stronger than the club. This is Arsenal FC. This ain't Arteta. Trust me. I want to let everyone know. Everyone that's a little... We will survive if Arteta ever leaves this club. Trust me. Because I think some people think the day Arteta leaves this football club, the stadium collapses, the training ground turns back into a car park. It will survive, people. Don't worry. We will move on. There's probably way more as well. I actually think Wenger, right, if you'd have kept him on for 5 more years and give him 750 million, I think he'd have done more than Arteta. And that is saying something, by the way. Big up Young Gunner, new member, and big up Tom, who said Edwards at Liverpool is the signing of the year. He's an incredible signing. I said on this channel for months, Arsenal should get Edwards, and Liverpool actually went and got him back. So we will see. 100% not a question yet. Slot don't count, took over a decent Liverpool. I mean, in terms of time, he was never going to need the time that Arteta had or needed. But the Klopp one wipes the floor with him. He walked into a Liverpool team with Ricky Lambert, Joe Allen. Won a Champions League in 4 years. End of debate. End of debate. And let me tell you, Klopp never spent 700 million in that period of time either. And he sold players. Coutinho and them, man, were leaving. Sturridge got injured. Nah. Anyway, let's talk about signings, people. Let's talk about signings. When I see this story, I'm like, okay, I'll take this. But then when I look at this is what Arsenal are like, This is what Arsenal are like. They give you something, but they're actually taking something away from you with the other hand. It's like being paid a good wage and then the tax man taking a whole heap of tax out of it. That's what Arsenal are like, people. They give you £1 million, then tax you. In fact, you're in debt to them by the time they've taxed you. The narrative when Klopp left was Liverpool will drop off. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's get into this story. Arsenal being linked with Isak. Arsenal have apparently made Alexander Isak their #1 striker target. So when I first see this, I'm like, yeah, man, Isak, baller, looked great against Arsenal the other week. Come back from injury. I think he scored 4 goals in his last 4 games. Baller, let's do this. This can help fix our season. But then I read the whole story. First of all, this is a summer transfer, not a January one. So the story even goes on to say, and I've got the story here, Arsenal will target a move for Newcastle striker Alexander Isak as their main priority this summer. Arsenal have kept a close eye on the Swedish international since his time at Real Sociedad, where he has developed well at Newcastle. With Isak's contract negotiations with the Geordies coming to a halt, it is believed Arsenal could make a big money move for Isak this summer. Arsenal apparently prefer Alexander Isak to fellow Swedish international striker Viktor Gyokeres. As number one, he has proven in the Premier League and his versatility to play across the front line. It is believed Newcastle would ask for at least £100 million for Isak, who still has 3 years remaining on his deal. I'm sorry, and I hate to be a pessimist here, people. Number one, next season FC, as Jonathan has said, I'm not interested. I hate to sound like a moany old man, Patrick Truman in EastEnders. Next season FC, miss me with that nonsense. I've been listening to this nonsense for 20 years. John Cross talking about the what is it? The war chest. Gets to about January, February. Arsenal going to have a war chest this summer. They're going to blow up the market. We never blow up the market. So what they're doing, basically, I'll translate this into Arsenal language. Arsenal know the fan base are desperate to see a striker join the football club in January, because we're all talking about it. We need a striker. Even pundits and top gooners are saying we need a striker in January. The club are not going to buy a striker in January because maybe Arteta wants to persevere with Havertz, or maybe the Kroenkes are saying you ain't having no money. So what Arsenal start doing is putting out stories to get us excited to say we're going for Isak in the summer to calm us down. So when we don't buy Gyokeres in January, they'll go, but we're going for Isak in the summer. And you know what happens when that happens? The title disappears because Havertz won't score the goals. So I find it very difficult to get hyped up by this story. I like Isak. I actually think he suits Arsenal a lot. And I can sort of understand why they're going for him. Do you know what? Let's do a poll. Who would you prefer Arsenal to sign, Isak or Gyokeres? Now, to be honest, we know that Gyokeres has a release clause 80 million. It might be 85 million. And they apparently want 100 million for Isak. Who would you rather Arsenal sign, Isak or Gyokeres? And listen, there is always going to be that question mark. Can Gyokeres come and do that in the Premier League, what he's doing over there? But at the moment, he's on fire and he's doing it in the Champions League, which makes you think he probably could. Where Isak has done it in the Premier League, but Isak is injury prone. That is the problem with him. I would almost say, and I'm going to keep it 100 here, I actually think Isak probably suits Arsenal's style of football more than Gyokeres does, if I'm being totally honest. Isak plays more like what I would see an Arsenal player playing like than Gyokeres. Gyokeres is more of just a gunman, plays on the shoulder, pure goal scorer. I think Isak is more all-round game, skill, link-up, pace. But Gyokeres, less injury-prone, at the moment, more prolific. So it's a tough one, you know. That is a tough one. Isak 100 million, Gyokeres 85 million. I probably like the way Isak plays more, but the injury-prone, I just can't deal with it. I would have so much head loss if we spent 100 million on the guy and the guy was injured all the time. So, but I think that's a very good open debate. Listen, I'm not using the poll as a distraction. I'm very disappointed if Arsenal don't buy a striker in January. In fact, I would go as far as saying that might end our Premier League season if we don't buy a striker in January. Now, the problem you've got, Arsenal are very stubborn when it comes to signings. If they prefer Isak, then I don't see them going for Gyokeres. Also, the problem that we've mentioned a number of times is Gyokeres might have now reached a point where we can't get him. There's rumours that Barcelona want him in the summer. Lewandowski's 36. There's rumours that Man City want another striker. Chelsea want a striker. Liverpool may want a striker. Arsenal, there could be too much traffic to try and get Gyokeres. He is a pressing machine as well. And Elliot, yeah, you spoke about Gyokeres for a while. But I will be very disappointed. And Arsenal did something similar a couple of years ago. We didn't get Caicedo. They then started linking us with Declan Rice. We got Declan Rice in the summer. And of course, Amarim's going to probably want him from the summer. I would imagine Amarim won't go for him in January out of respect. In the summer, I think he'll probably try and get him. There's rumours that Xerxes could be getting sold already. What do you guys think? I want to know what you think. Isak is Premier League proven, says Marv. Yo, Curtis and the C Unit, Isak all day, said J. Angelo. HICM, then all the more reason to get Gyokeres in January. Yeah, that's the right. Los Polo said we will end up signing a left-back. Yeah, left-back and a goalkeeper. Amo said, bro, our style is like Stoke City now. Yeah. So unless they're good in the air, don't even bother. Masterson, nothing but KSE PR. It feels like that. Gyokeres all day said, Trixie. Red Eye Guna says, João Pedro. João Pedro, to me, is a good player, but I don't think he's at the level that we need. I would say he's like I would say João Pedro is almost like a taller Gabriel Jesus when we signed him. Not this Jesus now that looks washed. The Jesus that we signed originally. And Pedro would be expensive. They paid like nearly 40 million for him. They would want 70, 80 million for him at least. If you're going to pay 80 million for João Pedro, pay 80 million for Gyokeres. You know? He is a good player, but I just think we need a prolific goal scorer, and he's not that at the moment. He's another one who gets injured a lot. I mean, last season, 31 games, 9 goals. Them numbers do not convince me that you go and spend 70, 80 million on him. Jonathan David for free in the summer. I always say this with Jonathan David. I fall back all the time. I hand it over to the community. Every time I've watched Jonathan David play, I'm not impressed with him, but he usually scores. When I watch his all-round game, I think, he's not that good. But I will give him credit. Nearly every time I watch him, he bags. But I just don't think he's that good. But he is a free. It wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal look at them kind of bargains. Mamouche from, who does he play for again? Is it Frankfurt? I know he's in the Bundesliga. Oh, look at that picture of R9 with them boots. Yeah, he's on fire. Is he that good? I've seen a lot of his highlights. I don't know how good he is. I mean, listen, Victor Osimhen's got a £65 million release clause in January. I don't understand why clubs have just backed off from him. He's got 6 goals in the league in 6 games and 2 assists and 2 goals in 3 Europa League games. He's got 8 goals, 3 assists in 9 games. I would be looking at that again. Cunha, I actually think, BX, honestly, I think Cunha's a fantastic footballer. I think he's a brilliant footballer. Again, he's not prolific. I almost think he's somebody that would you'd play him with a striker rather than as the striker. I actually think he's a very, very good player, Matheus Cunha. I've always rated that guy when he was at Atletico. So technically gifted, can pass, can shoot, can dribble. I would take Cunha at Arsenal, by the way, but not as the main striker. If you go and get Cunha and you got Gyokeres or Cunha and Isak, but we don't seem to like buying attacking players. That's the problem. Osimhen is riddled with injuries. Will break down in the Prem. Go get Franny Jeffers. I mean, they bought Rooney. We brought Jeffers. Crazy. Cunha's way too good for Wolves. How is Tony doing in Saudi? He's probably swimming in money, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't got a clue. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists. He probably don't care. Yeah, he probably don't care. He's getting 400 bags. Would you really be that bothered? Isak, though, I'll leave that on there. Let me know what you think. You can't hold Saudis to ransom over cash yet in terms of Isak, richest owners. Again, my issue with Isak is, and I'm just going to end on this. Isak's got 3 years left on his deal. He's the best player at Newcastle, in my opinion, along with Bruno Gyokeres. Why would they need to sell him with 3 years left on his contract? If I'm Newcastle and he's saying I don't want to sign a new contract, I'll be like, all right, no problem. See you at pre-season. Yeah, but I don't want to. No problem. You got 3 years left. We'll sell you next year with 2 years left. I don't see why Newcastle would cash in on him. There were all these rumours this year. Oh, Man City and Arsenal want Bruno Gyokeres and he's going to leave. Did he leave? No, he didn't leave. Isak's got 3 years left. I don't think Newcastle will sell him. They don't need to sell him. Unless there's a financial problem, but I don't think he'll go, which is why I think Arsenal should just buy Gyokeres and stop messing around. Anthony Gordon is their best player. Oh, my God. Look, bro, honestly, tempted to block you for that, but, I'm going to just give you a timeout. Am I actually... Please, you must be trolling me. You have to be... Am I being trolled here? Hello? Am I on You've Been Framed? Where's the cameraman? Anthony Gordon's Newcastle's best player. Oh, E. Ross, if you're in the chat, I mean, that is English tax at its absolute finest. Anthony Gordon over Bruno Gyokeres and Isak. Oh, my word. Wow. 3-minute timeout. Just go and watch 90 seconds of Bruno Gyokeres and then watch 90 seconds of Isak. Anthony Gordon, that is crazy. Absolutely. Just because he runs quick. I bet when he was at Everton, you didn't want him at Arsenal. Why was me said we need to buy more than one striker. Osimhen and Isak together would be lethal with Kvara from Napoli. Sell Martinelli, Havertz and Jesus. I mean, listen, I agree, but you say that to Arsenal, mate, they'll think you're playing Football Manager. Isak's going to cost you 100. Osimhen's going to cost you 65. Kvara's probably going to cost you 80. That's 250 already. I get it. You could probably get 50 million for Martinelli. That's 200. You might get 40, 50 for Havertz. You're at 150. You sell Jesus for 20 odd. You're on a net spend of 100 odd million. It's not that bad, but it ain't going to happen. And he ain't going to sell Havertz. He's adopted him. Did you hear Brighton sacking their scouts? If we were the slightest bit competent, we would pick them up. Our scouting has been in the bin post Kagi Gao. I always forget how you pronounce that guy's name. Listen, we know the problem you've got with Brighton, and I always say this, the guy who worked at Brighton has performed miracles. The problem is Brighton are signing a lot of unknown players. And Brighton fans and the club allow those guys to go into the first team and have patience and very little pressure. So we'd never heard of Caicedo and, Estupinian and all these guys who have ended up being quality players. As a fan base, would we accept and be patient if Arsenal, say now we need a striker, we want Isak and Gyokeres. If they bought a striker from Brazil for 4 million and banged him up front, are we going to accept it? There's a lot more pressure. But I get you. The one thing I was excited about when Edu got the job is, we're going to get stars from Brazil. But we didn't really. Gabriel Magalhaes was the only one. Let's move on from Isak. I'll leave that poll there, and we got a couple more stories, and then we'll round up as we approach the hour. Big up everyone locked in, 2K locked in. Really appreciate your support. TV1, that's a good point. They would have more money to spend, so maybe the level of player that they went for would get higher. So that might improve. Marquinhos, yeah, I actually thought there was a bit of talent there, but hasn't happened. He's had poor loan spells as well, which hasn't helped. Speaking of Edu, we obviously need a sporting director. This guy is being linked with Arsenal. Somebody said it's Didier Deschamps with a fade. Looks a bit like Deschamps with a haircut. Roberto Alabi. Alabi. He leaves his director's role at Real Sociedad in June 2025. He's attracting interest from Premier League clubs for 2025 after doing an excellent job at Real Sociedad. Let me give you the connection he has to Arsenal. This guy's got not happy. He said, Alabi absolutely stinks of Arsenal. Obviously, he's been at Real Sociedad, where we signed Mikel Merino, we loaned Kieran Tierney there, we signed Monreal from them, and we also, or did we sell Monreal to them? And we also signed Martin Odegaard that had been there on loan the previous season from when we got him. Yeah, Sociedad got Monreal from Arsenal. He signed Arteta as a player in 2004. So there's that connection. He has links to Manchester City, cross-club responsibilities similar to Edu. I mean, Salman, you obviously know a lot about La Liga, Laid. I know there's a few of you in the community. GJB said Real fans have been complaining about him. Obviously with Marino leaving and Zubimendi. Zubimendi's actually being linked with Arsenal again, but I'm not even bringing that story up today because he's also being linked with Manchester City and Liverpool, so I'd expect him to go to one of them. How many number sixes can we carry? Also, maybe, again, I'm looking at different angles. He was at Sociedad with Alexander Isak. Odegaard was there at the same time, so was Mikel Merino. He signed Arteta as a player. Are we going to have a Real Sociedad reunion for the next few years? Get the sporting director that signed Arteta. Arteta knows him. He knows Merino. He knows Tierney. He knows Odegaard. He might go get Isak and then maybe bring Zubimendi with him as well. I don't know. Echi said you're wrong. The most entertaining player is JJ Okocha. I mean, listen, I respect JJ Okocha, but again, Echi, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Not as a sign of disrespect over your comment. I want you to spend the next 3 minutes looking at Ronaldinho's skills. Respectfully. And I love JJ Okocha. So good they named him twice. I wasn't even angry when he rainbow flicked it over Ray Parler's head. But if you think JJ Okocha's more skillful than Ronaldinho, then honestly, you might have been partying with David Coote, the referee. I'm being serious. I can't have that. Anyway, there's a hat trick. 3 3-minute timeouts today. And honestly, when I do it, people, it's not disrespectful. I'm doing it out of respect. Because I want your opinion. I don't want you to say that somewhere where it might get you in trouble. I'm actually trying to protect you from what could happen in the future. So, listen, JJ Okocha was brilliant. So good they named him twice. But I ain't about to compare a guy from Bolton Wanderers with Ronaldinho, a World Cup winner, a Champions League winner, probably the most skillful player we've ever seen in our life. So yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry to do that to you, but I am doing it for your own good. I really am. They were at PSG together, so they do. I think Arteta was there with them, but don't take it as a sign of disrespect. I'm trying to help people here. Anyone else think that JJ was as skillful as Ronaldinho? It's a rescue mission. Yeah, I'm giving people time to reflect and learn. It's international break, KV said Neymar or Ronaldinho. I mean, listen, Neymar was on that same wave. I think that's more of a debate than JJ Okocha. JJ was skillful, but I'm going Ronaldinho as a player. No doubt. Neymar, listen, I said this before. We were robbed of seeing Neymar's true brilliance with him going to PSG. I honestly believe that Neymar was the next in line in world football. David, you're right, bro. It's an intervention. You know if your friends got food around their mouth or they're having a drink. If your friends eat and they got a bit of food around their mouth. Some people, they don't say anything because they think, I feel a bit awkward saying something. Your true friend, will say, brother, you got a whole heap of food around your mouth. Wipe that up, bro. That's what I'm doing to people in the comments, saying, I'm doing it out of respect. Some people think they're being polite. Oh, don't say nothing. He's got food around their mouth. Tell them straight. Yo, wipe up your mouth, brother. What's that? You know what I mean? Your true friend will say, yo, food all right. So that's where I'm at. But Neymar, back to Neymar. Neymar at Barcelona was on track to becoming the world's best player. I have absolutely no doubt. He was unbelievable. He was the next best after Messi and CR7. But he went PSG, arguably for the bag. I watched that documentary about Neymar, and he said when Barcelona came back against PSG, when Emery was in charge of PSG, when they did that great comeback, Neymar felt he was the star of that game, and he said Messi got all the credit, all the newspapers, all the headlines were Messi. He said he felt he was living in Messi's shadow. He went to PSG to try and create his own legacy. He actually ruined his legacy. Little did he know, the French league, by the way, is one of the most physical leagues in Europe, without a shadow of a doubt. And they mashed up his ankles. They just kicked him all over the place. And yeah, ruined his career. Should have stayed at Barca. Big up, Dud Pistachio. Hope you're well, bro. I am going to get in contact to you. I've took so long. I will get there. And Gunnar Galactico, I like your idea of streaming old Arsenal games like the Invincible season. That way this younger generation can appreciate greatness. Bon, this current team. Balassi is still more of a baller than Grealish, even though Grealish has carried Man City. More entertaining, for sure. Yannick's my friend, man. He was amazing to watch, him and Zaha. Haven't we just gone to the USA for meetings with Kroenkes? Yeah, it's never what we think it is, bro. We think they've flown out to go and sign someone. They've probably flown out to bring out new merch or give a new contract to somebody, you know. So don't get excited that there's Arsenal delegation in America, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't get too excited for that. Same reason Alexis came to us. He scores hat-trick, but nobody said that. Everybody says about Messi. Yeah, it was hard, wasn't it, to be at that club at the time. That was Messi's club. Villarreal Fan TV, big up, bro. Neymar against Argentina in the Copa America final was sick. Even in that World Cup in Brazil, he was carrying that Brazil team. They literally broke his back. I think it was Colombia won it. Like, he was crazy. Ronaldinho or Noel Whelan. We'll go Ronaldinho just. Man like Noel Whelan, you know, them old school players. Spitting bars on Lord of the Mics. Hey, man. Old school, man. Yannick against Brad Wright Phillips. They were the days, man. Although Iwobi's got a track out now. I mean, have you heard Iwobi on that track? Oh, my God. The less said about that track, the better. I think we're going to do some things on, basically, I had the Curtis Shaw Clips channel and it's just stopped. I think what we're going to do on there is we're going to turn that into something different. React to music, maybe do NBA, maybe react to some old interviews or old fan cams and old watch-alongs, and then maybe do some old football on there. We'll do something, but that I'm going to relaunch that around Christmas. I've got an editor looking into that for me now. Finally, before we get out of here, oh, you haven't heard it, J-Dub. My advice to you, mate, probably you don't want to hear it. Iwobi's track, by the way. It is not good. Yeah, Discord, like I said, you know me, people. Like I've said many times, I've got no dishwasher, and my email address is a Hotmail address. So Discord is like a foreign language to me. But yeah, I think that's something we may look at. We may look at doing a Discord so we can kind of, you know, the community can talk. It might have to be just for the members because there's 83,000. I don't know. Can you have that many? I don't know how it works. I'll look into it, though. Let's get the DJs on this channel, do a fun SoundCloud. Dre, honestly, we'll definitely do something. We'll definitely do something. Go and follow Dre, by the way. He's doing a lot of big things with his DJing over on Twitch, especially so. And Ben said we could send clips on Discord. There you go. There you go. I will definitely look into that as well. Ronaldinho was an apprentice to JJ Okocha. Yeah, he was, but he took over him, mate, and went clear of him. So that's just an age thing, bro. Gotanelli said, do you think Mbappe can be better than Henry? No, I don't. His mentality ain't right, bro. Unfortunately for Kylian Mbappe, I still think he can be one of the best players in the world, no doubt. He's got the ability all day long. He's a World Cup winner. It's not like the guy's had a bad career. But the trajectory that he should have been on, I think he's taken himself off it. And I actually think people have overtaken him. He stayed at PSG for too long. He should have left 2 or 3 years ago. He was unbelievable at the time. He's struggling at Real Madrid. He's struggling at Real Madrid because when he should have gone to Real Madrid 2 or 3 years ago, he was playing left wing. He would have gone to Madrid and played left wing. Benzema was up top. Now, Vinicius is probably a better left winger than Mbappe. So Mbappe's going up front and he ain't doing the business up front. Ronaldinho was at Bolton. Nah, they were at PSG together. Brett said Mbappe has let me down. And me, bro, because he was one of my favourite players. Dre said, I've been off Twitch for a while. I'll jump back on at some point. There you go. I'm promoting, man. He's not even on there. Imagine they all went to search for you on Twitch and you ain't doing nothing. Oh, let's finish with this. Oh, damn. I don't know what I think about this. I'm going to end this poll and do another poll. Just a quick poll to finish. 67% say Gyokeres. 33% say Isak. Trossard. New contract. Trossard at Arsenal. Sell in the summer. Or new contract. Now, let me give you the context behind this new deal. Arsenal apparently going to give him a new 3-year contract. Let's get that poll running just for 5 minutes while we round up. Arsenal have been trying to tie Leandro Trossard down to a new long-term deal. Sources have told Football Insider there has been interest in the player from Saudi Arabia, which is one of the reasons the club are keen to extend. I mean, Stella or Trossard? I don't know. I don't know with this one. Let me have a look. To be honest, the age is not even the issue. I mean, you can give a 30-year-old a new deal. He turns 30 next month. It's the form for me. The way he's playing, I mean, got 12 goals last year, which is a good season, really, for a guy that doesn't play every week. He's got 2 this year. The talk is, he's got a year left on his contract this summer. The talk is Arsenal are going to give him a new 3-year contract, taking him to 2028. By which time he would be 32, about to turn 33. I'm going to be honest. Some people will think this is disrespectful. I'm not forgetting how clutch he's been since he's been at Arsenal, right? I'm not. Arsenal have got 2 left wingers at the moment, Trossard and Martinelli. I want Arsenal to sign a left winger in the summer. For me, I'm going to be totally honest. I would rather have Martinelli and a new winger and let Trossard go than have Trossard and a new winger. Just because I think Martinelli off the bench, at least he's quick. At least he can, go at people. I would downgrade Martinelli to be the backup and I would sign a new winger. Trossard, he's having a rough patch, so I don't want to just write him off. This is a guy that 2 months ago we were all saying this is one of the best players off the bench. Martinelli's 23, Trossard's 30 next month. His form has been fading. If you can get 35 million from Saudi, we paid about that for him. We paid 27 million. He's having a grey patch. Oh, my days everlasting. I love that one. We're not going to get Nico Williams. He probably ends up at Barcelona. The only thing that keeps him out of Barcelona is Rafinha's form that he's on at the moment. Could we swoop and get Nico Williams? I want to see Nico Williams, Kvara, Rafa Leao, somebody like that. I'm selling Trossard for 35 million to Saudi, benching Martinelli. Next season, you're seeing one of those 3 starting. Martinelli's the super sub. Trossard goes to Saudi. That's where I'm at with it. But the other side of it is the club might think we could sell Martinelli and get more money than we could get for Trossard. Trossard sits on the bench while Kvara or Nico Williams start left wing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Greek Alex said if he stays as a sub, then yes. Guna Pot said a backup winger is an easy replacement and an upgrade. Rick said man's even got grey in his eyebrows. I need to zoom in. Yeah, I mean, there's something going on them edges. This is the look when Trossard sees somebody opening his can of lager when he told them to just look after them for him. I'm telling you, he's an alcoholic. Look at them bags on. I'm joking, by the way. I am completely joking because people will go mad for this. Look at the bags under his eyes. He looks like he hasn't slept for 4 weeks. That's Kung Fu Panda. He's on 90 grand a week. How can you be on 90 grand a week and look that tired? He looks knackered. Absolutely knackered. Surely they can do something. 90 grand a week. I'm telling you, he's having all-nighters. He's playing Fortnite. He's on FIFA playing Weekend League. Down in a 6-pack of Stella. Stella or Trossard, man. Look at that face. He never looks happy. Never looks happy, this guy. 90 grand a week. I'd be smiling in every picture. Honestly, man. Yeah, honestly, that is Kung Fu Panda. He's even wearing the white and black hoodie. That hoodie's good, by the way. He looks like a panda. Panda. I got broads in Atlanta. Remember that song? Legacies. Panda. This is a panda right here. Kung Fu Panda. He's even wearing the panda outfit. And I actually didn't even know that. Ah, dear. Trossard. What do we do with him? What do we do with him, people? Listen, if someone turns up with a big bag of money and says Martinelli, and we get a top quality left winger and Trossard's the backup, not the end of the world. But the way Martinelli's playing right now, I don't think anyone's turning up with cash. So for me, I'm going to be totally honest, people. If I can get 35 from Saudi and bring in a top quality left winger, Trossard can go for me. 35 million for Trossard at 30 years of age. And you go and get Nico Williams for 50. Kvara for 75. Leao for 100. Trossard plus 65 million. In theory, gets you Leao, even though Trossard isn't going directly to Milan. Sell him for 35. Pay 100. Take away the 35, 65 million. Nico Williams. Trossard plus 15 million. Kvara. Trossard plus 45 million. I like Trossard, but he's out of form and he's aging as well. But, like I said, if Martinelli had a big offer, then maybe we'll have a different discussion. But I don't see anybody booting the door down to try and get Martinelli out of Arsenal. Kvara is fantastic because he's so different to any of our players. Low centre of gravity, he can dribble, he can shoot. He's fantastic. I'm a big fan. Big fan of him. Leao is very exciting. When he's good, he's unplayable. When he's bad, it's like Tammy Abraham on the left wing. It's like a giraffe trying to play football. When he's good, he's super exciting. He can rip your team apart. But I just don't know whether Arsenal would pay 100 million for Leao. And we've never really been linked with him. We know Nico Williams, the link is there and the price is a lot better. So we'll end this and let me know what you guys think. In fact, let's end the poll. The poll's there. Let's see what you guys are saying in the poll. Where are we at? 75% sell Trossard this summer. 25% say new contract. The community have spoken. The panda goes, people. Panda dunks. It's like panda dunks, innit? They were like, everyone loved them trainers when they first came out. Now they're everywhere. People aren't really hyped by them no more, you know. Right, people, I'm going to round up there. We got through all our stories today. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'm on Dan Potts' channel tomorrow at 1 p.m. So Potts' channel, Football's 12th Man, that'll be 1 till 2. Straight over here, 2 till 3. So, yeah, I was going to do an England watch-along, but the Arsenal boys aren't playing. I don't even care enough about the game to do the watch along, I'd probably be speaking about biscuits and NBA. We'll see. I doubt it, though. I'm not going to say. And the member stream will be at the start of next week. We'll get that done as well. People, thank you very much for giving up your time. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see you all soon, people. Bless.